Hello, and let me start off by thanking you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you about the Affordable Care Act. Some of the points that I would like to focus on today are health care as a basic human right, the significant pros and cons of the Affordable Care Act, and how we as a nation can speak up about changing the negative impacts of this act. As many of us already know, health care can be costly to purchase on our own or through an employer. At this point in time, the cost of healthcare expansion will cost about $165.2 million. We may be making healthcare easier to access, but it will cost us in the long run, according to Health Affairs Journal. Healthcare as a human right is defined as the right everyone has to the highest attainable standard of mental and physical health. This includes the right to adequate housing, food, and healthcare, among many other things. While we all have this right, many do not receive adequate housing, food, or health care. This speech will focus on the Affordable Care Act in its current reform state, how it helps, how it hurts, and what can be done to change the act. Currently, the only significant pros that can be seen with the Affordable Care Act are health care for all, not being denied coverage for a mistake on the application or because of a pre-existing condition, and we also have the right to preventative services. While this ensures that everyone is being covered and cannot be denied coverage, there are certain cons to this act as well. As it stands now, penalties are incurred when one does not purchase coverage, whether through healthcare marketplace or through a private insurance agency. An individual is also being charged every month that they or their dependents have gone without insurance and are being charged up to $12 of private money to cover abortion costs and contraceptives. This is irrespective of race, religion, age, and sexuality. As a basic human right, we have the right not to do something that we do not want to do based on personal beliefs, religious beliefs, or otherwise. At one point in the Affordable Care Act, it was a mandate for employers to cover the cost of contraceptions and abortions. This raised eyebrows for many individuals who had religious beliefs against abortion and birth control methods. After much controversy, President Obama overturned this decision and the mandate was no longer in effect. If this can be done for businesses, why can't it be done for individual plans? The decision to receive or take contraceptives or to have an abortion is the private and personal decision of a woman and only the woman. The government should not be making a provision that everyone pays for something that they don't want due to religious beliefs. There are 3 different levels of plans in this act. By showcasing the most basic and the most premium plan, you will see that the costs balance themselves out. The bronze or most basic plan gives the purchaser a lower premium but a higher rate of deductible, as opposed to the platinum or most premium plan where the deductibles are lower but the premium is higher. If the costs seem to balance themselves out, why can't we make the cost the same for everybody? Better yet, let's make a basic plan as the only mandated option. Then if an individual wishes to purchase more, he or she can do with extra costs. In order to help change this so-called reform, we need to look at just how cost-effective, even with subsidies, the Affordable Care Act really is as it stands at this moment. Currently, Health Affairs Journal explains that the cost of health care will only be on an upward spiral and place more financial burdens on the average American family, and that the percentage of Americans with high medical cost burdens, those who spend more than 10% of their family income on out-of-pocket expenses for health care, increased 19.2% in 2011, after stabilizing at 18.2% during the Great Recession from 2007 to 2009. One way that we can look into changing the Affordable Care Act in the coming years is to make the purchasing of policies through the marketplace income-based. This will ensure the cost-effectiveness of our more vulnerable populations. But if you choose to purchase a private policy, the cost is up to the insurer. One basic plan that includes the necessities should be made with an option to add on other coverages per the individual's needs, ensuring that only those who need additional options are paying for said options. The dollars demanded in our policies dedicated to covering abortions should be abolished and given as an option instead of a mandate in our policy. It is understandable and commendable that President Obama is tackling a crucial issue such as health care reform. So many before him tried and failed or were too afraid of the failure of their changes that they did not wish to tackle it themselves. Almost no one succeeds for their first time at something as profound as health care reform. There is no need for blame or resentment, but there is room for change. There always is nowadays. That being said, it is important to take into account the negative and contradictory actions that the Affordable Care Act provides. In order to elicit change in this reform, we as a nation need to speak out about what needs to change now. Please help us to make a change by signing a petition to change the mandates for abortion and contraceptive costs in our plans, and to help put in effect a new way of affording policies through an income-based approach. Let's help ourselves become a nation of equality and affordability. Again, thank you for your time. If there are any questions, you may ask them when I am finished. Thank you.